So let's talk about Scotland's Six Nations 2022, go through their games and also pick their best team as I see it now. On the side there's the table and their results. In game 1 they started with a bang. At home to England, it was a close contest. England had plenty of dominance for some of it, but Scotland kept their cool. Another Calcutta Cup, some big kicking from Hogg and Russell often got them out of trouble, and that was a bit of a theme, especially from Hogg. He can certainly smash the ball on, get them out of trouble, and they had power and pace on the wings, which England didn't. The likes of Graham and Van der Merwe caused England all sorts of problems, and I think the best thing about this first game is they controlled their emotions in a really tight game. That tight win really G'd them up, set them nicely up for Wales. Then the wheels came off a bit. It's a reverse of the score, 2017 to Wales this time, and they will feel that's the one that got away. Not that they have any right to win, but they had a good first game. Wales, not with their strongest team out with injuries, and they couldn't take advantage. Wales had the control, full of pride and passion. Scotland just didn't have enough quality and made far too many errors in this game. They still look dangerous in attack, as they generally always do. When Russell gets in the groove, he looks very impressive, half breaks, etc. But those costly errors, really, really told. An unbelievable finish from Darcy Graham, one of the best of the tournament. Have a look back on that one where I think he hands Reece Zammit off actually to score. But not good enough when it mattered though, so they get the tight loss. And I wonder if that had a big hit on their morale actually going forward. But anyway, one tight win, one tight loss, so it's in the balance. Then they get France at home, and all sides struggled against France, even Ireland. But it was an entertaining game, and at half-time it was pretty close, but that French power pulled them away. The massive positive in that game was that Darge just looked unbelievable and looked great for the rest of the tournament. So you could say he was a find, but Scottish fans knew all about him. It was just his first foray into senior rugby, and he is ready, he is World Cup ready. So a great find, if you call it a find, for Scotland there. But that French power, Dante, Ficou, was just too much. Some really nice handling from the French. They were in the groove in that game. Scotland, they got killed a bit on the turnover counter-attack. France can do that as well. But no lack of Scottish effort. So actually, 2 losses and 1 win. It was in the balance there for Scotland, certainly. Then they get the tight win against Italy. It was a job-done win. It was Italy's probably best 80 minutes. I know Italy won a game against Wales, but I actually think they played slightly better overall in that Scottish game. Certainly they pulled ahead, but then it was a little bit worrying when Italy came back. Turner in this game I thought was particularly impressive. I think he cemented his number 1 spot. Great throwing and running as well. And Scotland did construct some nice tries. Then the last game, it was a tough assignment away to Ireland, but they really struggled. They didn't get even close, which is a shame. Just too desperate to score, flinging the ball around, seemed to have lost their composure, lacked that control. They couldn't get gain line as well, which was a bit of a problem, couldn't go through phases, and really they were a long way off Ireland. So 26-5, a pretty bad way to finish. But when you actually analyse it, there is some good stuff in there. However, I would say, what's their overall game plan? What sort of team do they want to be? If they can't get gain line, it can be a problem. They had been super quick in the past, then it went back to more of a tight, grindy, kicky game. Now they're half and half, looking to maybe attack a bit too much too early. So identity-wise, a bit tricky. But I would suggest, well, they've got 2 professional sides, the same as Italy. Are their expectations a little high? Are they talking it up a little too much? I don't know the answer to that. Let me know what you think. They don't have that many players, 2 professional sides. Players have to play outside of Scotland, and sometimes they, get injured or get banned like Van der Merwe did. So are their expectations just a little too high, or did they underperform? I'm on the fence. I don't quite know for Scotland. Let me know if you think it was a poor Six Nations or just subpar for, where they should be with the number of players they have. So very quickly, I think this is the best 23 that I see right now for Scotland. You can see a bit of controversy there. I'll come straight to it. I'm playing Darge at 7. On what I've seen so far, Hamish Watson on the bench. You could play them both, but I think they both are really out-and-out 7s. And at the moment, I think Darge probably has it. Let me know if you think that's sacrilege, but that's how I see it. Back to the front row, I think Schoeman gets the loose head slot. When Sutherland comes back for injury, I think he retains on the bench there, although you could put him straight back in, but I've been impressed with Schoeman. Turner at times I thought was absolutely fantastic, definitely their best hooker of the tournament. Down to Fakeson at tight head. Gray and Gilchrist probably their best second rows, with the returning Cummings I would have in the 23 as well. I think that's their best 3 second rows. When Richie's back fit, I think he definitely comes back in to blindside with Darge at 7. Matt Fakeson I think is still their best option at 8. Price had a really good tournament, maybe their player of the tournament, quite consistent. Sometimes he fell off a few tackles, but makes good breaks, very quick to the breakdown. Russell's an interesting issue. As you saw in my report there, did loads of great things, but then also does some really annoying things, intercepts, body language. Sometimes it feels like his heart's just not quite as in it as some of the other players. Maybe that's just his personality. So hard to analyse. In the centres, I think Johnson stays at 12, although I still don't think he's, a world-class player at 12. I'm not sure what the other options are. They didn't get to play my favourite Hutchinson there. Harrison had a decent tournament at 13. Graham and Van der Merwe both look good, especially Graham. And Hogg generally is very good. Brilliant counter-attack, brilliant hitting the line, big kicks, but he does make some bad errors. A really bad choice when he had his 4-on-1 in the last game for sure. Anyway, that's the starting 15. Then the bench, I've mentioned most of them. White probably gets the backup scrum half role, but, where did he come from almost? They've gone through so many different scrum halves. Let me know if you think he really is good enough to be the backup scrum half. Maybe he is, but he has just come onto the scene. Then I think we stick with Kinghorn, even though Hastings might actually be the better 10. I'm not so sure. Kinghorn probably covers quite a lot, along with Tuipulotu, you're covering a lot, but you could argue that maybe Hastings comes in there. Anyway, that's my best 23. That's my report of Scotland's Six Nations. Pop all your comments below, and I'll catch you next time.